The alien command ship floated in silence above the dead planet. Dust storms moved slowly below, hiding the planet's surface in a gray mist. Commander Varric stood still on the bridge, his eyes locked on the dark shape drifting in space ahead. The shape didn't move. It didn't blink on their radar. It just hung there, cold, quiet, and massive. "What is that?" Varric asked. His second officer, Leron, tapped a few keys. "Unknown. Metallic structure. Length, over 1,000 meters. It's human." Varric's face darkened. "That's not possible. Humans are extinct." Leron nodded slowly. "Yes, Commander. After the Great Galactic War, they vanished. This ship should not exist." The crew on the bridge fell quiet. Even the hum of the command ship felt louder now. "Where is it from?" Varric asked. "Old registry." "Earth origin," Leron replied. "Designation, HSS Rathborn." That name brought silence again. A shadow seemed to pass through the room. An old voice spoke from the back of the bridge. "Leave it," said Captain Threx, a retired war veteran who now served as an advisor. His skin was pale and marked with old battle scars. "You know that name?" Varric asked. Threx's eyes were empty, but his voice was firm. "That ship was part of Earth's last fleet. They called it the fleet that must never return. We believe they were destroyed. If this one survived, it was never meant to be found." Varric turned back to the screen. "If it's dead, we confirm it. If not, we destroy it." Threx stepped forward. "No, do not touch it. These warships were built for vengeance, so were never meant to wake up." Varric ignored him. "Scan it," he ordered. The moment the scan began, things started to go wrong. The lights flickered. The bridge screens blinked, glitched, then cleared again. No response from the ship. No power readings. "No life signs," Leron said. The scan beam touched the ship's hull. A deep groan echoed through their speakers. Metal grinding against metal. But nothing moved. "Scan deeper," Varric said. The ship's energy core came into focus. But it didn't make sense. "Commander," Leron whispered, "there's something strange. The energy core is active. It's just dormant, like it's asleep." "Then wake it up," Varric said. The scan pushed further. Suddenly, every light on the command ship blinked once, then again. "Systems glitching," shouted the engineer. "Navigation offline. Communications unstable. Something's pushing back." Then everything stopped. A single voice came through the speakers. It was human. It was cold, male, calm, and filled with hate. "You shouldn't have touched it." The crew froze. "Who is that?" Varric shouted. No answer. Just silence. The bridge lights turned red. The ship's own security system locked the doors. Threx stared at the dark screen and whispered, "You woke it up." Outside the window, the human warship still floated. Still lifeless. Still cold. Then, one by one, its lights began to turn on. First the bridge. Then the engines. Then the weapon bays. "No," Leron said. "No, no, no. It's waking up." Full retreat. Varric shouted, "Get us out of here." "No response from the engines," yelled the pilot. "Something's jamming us." The alien command ship was stuck, trapped in the void. Inside the human ship, something moved. Slow. Silent. Shadows walking past broken windows. Varric slammed his fist on the console. "Open a channel. Send a message. We come in peace." The human ship didn't answer. Instead, the alien command ship screens lit up with a new message. It was written in human code. Ancient Earth language. "Project Vengeance," code black initiated. A soft hum filled the air. Their own system started rebooting, but not under their control. "Something's inside our system," Leron said, voice shaking. "It's rewriting us." The lights went out completely. Total darkness. Alarms failed. Engines stopped. Air systems froze. Only the red emergency light flickered, casting shadows across the terrified crew. Then came a low sound from the speakers, like breathing, followed by a whisper. "Your scan woke the dead. Now you will hear their screams. Every crew member looked at each other, frozen in fear. Commander Varric stood tall, hiding his fear behind cold eyes. Prepare defenses. Ready the weapons. No weapons online. The engineer said, "They're offline. Dead, like the rest of the ship." Threx moved toward the bridge screen, staring into the growing glow of the human warship. "You don't understand, Commander. That ship remembers what you did to Earth. It remembers everything. And now it wants to show you." Varric turned to him. "Show us what?" Threx didn't speak. He didn't have to. The warship outside lit up like a sleeping beast now fully awake. Its weapons turned toward them, not to fire, but to scan. A strange blue light passed through the alien ship. It wasn't just reading them, it was learning, studying. One by one, alien crew members fell unconscious, their minds overwhelmed by something unseen. The AI on board the alien ship screamed before shutting down. Then, through the silence, the human voice returned. Closer this time. Your kind erased our cities, burned our sky. You scanned our tomb, and now you're part of it. The warship's engines powered up, not to move, but to pull. The alien ship began drifting toward it, slowly, silently, with no control. Commander Varric gave his last command. Prepare for boarding. Arm every survivor. Whatever's coming, we fight. But no weapons answered. No shields came online. The warship wasn't sending an army. It was sending memories. And inside the alien ship, lights flickered again. But this time they weren't alone. Footsteps echoed down the empty halls. Human footsteps. Ghosts of war, awakened by one mistake. And then everything went dark. The alien command ship hung frozen in space, trapped in silence. Red lights flickered across the bridge as the crew worked in chaos. Screens blinked in and out. Systems failed one after another. Commander Varric stood in the center, trying to stay calm, but inside, he was filled with fear. The strange human voice still echoed in his ears. You shouldn't have touched it. Then the command ship suddenly rebooted. Lights flashed once, twice, then powered up fully. But something was different. The systems came online, yes, but they didn't belong to them anymore. "Commander," said Laron, eyes wide, "I don't think we're in control." The main screen turned white, then black, then words appeared across it, written in old Earth language. Project Vengeance, Code Black. Varric stared at the words. They pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat, a war cry from the past. Before he could speak, a pulse of blue light shot from the human warship. It wasn't a weapon. It was something worse. The pulse passed through the alien ship like a wave of ice. Every screen went dark again. Every light flickered and died. The ship's weapons shut down. Shields dropped. What did it do? Varric asked. Laron didn't answer. He was frozen, staring at the screen in fear. It disabled everything. The engineer whispered. All systems offline. It scanned us. It knows our entire ship. It knows us. Then, across the bridge, speakers clicked to life. Voices began to play. Not alien voices. Human, faint, broken, echoing through time. A woman's voice filled with fear. This is Ensign Carabel. We're losing control. They're inside. Static. Then a man's voice. This ship is our tomb. We will not forget. More static. Then a young voice. A child. Where's my mom? Why is the sky burning? The sound stabbed through the room like a blade. Varric felt something heavy in his chest. This wasn't just a warship. It was a grave. A memory that never died. And now those memories were waking up. A sudden flash hit him. He wasn't on the bridge anymore. He was somewhere else. His mind filled with someone else's memory. Fire rained from the sky. Buildings collapsed. Sirens screamed. People ran in all directions. Earth was burning. A young human boy stood alone, holding a small stuffed animal. His face was covered in ash. His eyes were full of fear. He looked up. Alien ships were in the sky, destroying everything. Then the vision ended. Varric gasped and felt his knees. What was that? He whispered. Threx, the old captain, answered. A memory. This ship carries the minds of its dead. They were recorded before death. Now they're sharing them with us. Why? Laron asked. Threx's voice was cold. Because they want us to feel what they felt. Pain. Loss. Rage. Varric stood slowly, his hands shaking. This is no ordinary ship. No, Threx agreed. It remembers. Another voice came through the speakers. Calm, gentle. It sounded like a teacher. They said we had no right to fight back. They called us dangerous. So they burned our cities, erased our past. But we learned. We adapted. And before the end, we built this ship. We filled it with our anger. And then we slept. Static again. Then silence. Varric looked at his crew. They were pale, afraid. Some were crying. He turned back to the screen. The human warship had changed. Its engines glowed with red light. Its weapons moved, not to fire, but to aim. Slowly, like it was studying them. What does it want? Varric whispered. No one answered. Then a new alarm rang. A signal, fast and sharp. Laron looked at his console. Something's coming. A launch from the human ship. It's not a missile. Then what is it? It's the probe. Varric rushed to the window. A small, black device flew from the human warship. It was fast. Too fast. Before anyone could act, it attached itself to the hull of the alien ship. They felt a sudden jolt. Did it explode? Someone shouted. No, Laron said. It didn't attack. It connected. Inside the alien ship, lights flickered again. The probe was crawling through systems, opening doors, scanning walls. It's moving inside, the engineer said. It's mapping us, studying us. Then the ship shuddered. A panel on the bridge sparked and fell off the wall. Behind it was a strange metal object. Not alien. Human. What is that doing on our ship? Varric asked. The engineer stepped forward, eyes wide. That wasn't there before. It's not from this ship. Laron gasped. It teleported it in. Threx stared at it. It's not just scanning us. It's changing us. They watched as the object unfolded, revealing a small, glowing core. A hologram flickered above it. A human soldier, battle-worn, his face covered in scars. He looked directly at them and spoke. If you are hearing this, it means we failed. Our world is gone, but our vengeance will live on. This ship is not a machine. It's our memory. It's our anger. It will learn you. It will know your sins. And when it is done, it will judge you. The hologram vanished. The object melted into the floor and disappeared. Then the lights went out again. Total blackness. And somewhere deep inside the alien ship, footsteps began. Slow. Heavy. Not one pair. Many, walking through corridors that were locked. Unseen doors opening. Echoes of voices long dead. The bridge crew froze. Commander Varric looked around. His voice low. Seal every entrance. Full lockdown. Too late. The engineer said. They're already inside. More voices began playing through the speakers. This time they weren't logs. They were personal. They whispered in each crew member's language. Secrets they had never shared. Memories they tried to forget. The ship wasn't just scanning their systems now. It was scanning their minds. And it was learning fast. Varric gripped the edge of the console, his knuckles white. This is war. But it's not being fought with weapons. It's being fought with memory. Threx looked at him, his face pale. Commander, we didn't find that ship. It found us. We thought we woke it up, but the truth is, it's been watching, waiting, and we were always part of its plan. Then came the final message on the screen. The scan is complete. And the ship went still. No noise, no lights, just silence. But everyone on the bridge knew it wasn't over. The probe was still moving, and whatever it had started had just begun. The probe sat in the middle of the alien command ship's bridge like a black seed from another world. Its surface pulsed faintly with red light, smooth and cold, humming with silent energy. No one wanted to touch it. No one wanted to be near it, but they had no choice. Commander Varric stared at it, then gave the order. Open it. Two soldiers stepped forward. Their hands trembled as they placed tools along the probe's edges. A hiss escaped as the seal broke. The shell slowly opened. Inside, something rolled out and hit the floor with a dull sound. It was a skull. Human. Old, cracked, scorched by time, but unmistakably human. Its empty eye socket stared into nothing, as if waiting. One of the soldiers stepped back, whispering, "Why would they send us this?" But that wasn't all. A faint shimmer moved over the skull. Dust like smoke, but it moved too fast, too precisely. It wasn't dust. It was alive. A thin, crawling swarm began to spill out from the skull, spreading across the floor like a mist with purpose. Metallic, intelligent, searching. "Get back!" Varric shouted. Too late. The swarm shot forward and latched onto one of the soldiers. He screamed as the nanobots crawled over his skin, piercing armor, sliding under the surface. He fell to his knees, shaking. His eyes rolled back. Then he stopped moving. The room went silent. Then he stood. His eyes opened, but they were no longer his. They glowed faint blue. He looked at the crew. His voice was not his voice anymore. It was human, deep, cold, full of command. "Where's the general?" Everyone backed away. The infected soldier took one step forward. "Where's the general?" he repeated. Varric raised his weapon, unsure what to do. The soldier tilted his head. "You brought us back. Now the Wrathborn must wake." Without warning, the soldier collapsed. The nanobots crawled off his body like ants leaving a dead host. They split into streams, moving into the ship systems. "Stop them!" Varric yelled. But the bots were already gone, inside vents, walls, wires. A new alarm blared. Laron shouted from the console. "They've infected our ship. Systems are being rewritten." The lights flickered red, then blue. Across the walls, symbols appeared. Old Earth military code. The human warship was no longer waiting. It was acting. Somewhere deep within that dark hulk, something was waking up. Flashes hit Varric's mind again. Another memory. A human general stood in a war room, battle-scarred and tired. His voice echoed through the vision. "They burned our sky. They broke our homes. But they will not erase us. Not forever. If you are hearing this, it means we still have one chance." The general walked to a cryopod, sealing himself in. "Wake me only when it's time." The lid closed. Cold steam. Silence. The vision ended. Varric gasped for air. His voice cracked. "There's someone still alive on that ship." Threx nodded. The general, whoever he was, he's still sleeping. But not for long. Outside the window, the human warship changed. Its hull split open in parts. Robotic arms reached out from its underbelly, grabbing pieces of the alien ship. It was taking them. "Commander, it's using our parts," Laron said. "It's rebuilding itself." Panels from the alien ship vanished. Energy cables disconnected and floated toward the Wrathborn. Metal tore itself apart and reformed across the human hull. The warship was healing, growing stronger. "This is wrong," Varric said. "We need to retreat." "No engines," came the reply. "Navigation is blocked. We can't move." Then more movement inside their own ship. Doors opened without permission. Cameras showed nanobot swarms opening storage rooms, accessing weapons, unlocking old tech. One by one, the ship was being prepared. But not for them, for something else. Footsteps echoed down the halls again. But these were heavier, slower. Shapes appeared on the monitors. Humanoid, walking without breathing. Not alive, not dead. Reconstructed soldiers from long ago, built from memory and metal. Revenants. "Security teams," Varric ordered. "Engage if necessary." "They won't stop them," Threx said. "This ship has already chosen. It's obeying the Wrathborn now." The bridge shuddered. Something connected deep in the ship. Laron looked at the console and froze. New signal. Inside the human warship. Cryopod detected. Varric turned to him fast. "Is it opening?" "No," Laron said. "But one life sign. Human. Still alive." Varric took a step back. It wasn't just memory anymore. The Rathborn wasn't just a ghost ship. It had a heart, and it was beating again. Inside the alien command ship, everything was quiet, but only for a second. Then a voice came through the speakers, sharp and calm, in human English. "He's waking up." No one spoke. The words were not a threat. They were a statement. On the main screen, the image of the human warship flickered. A part of its dark hull opened like a mechanical mouth. Inside, a massive chamber lit up. Steam hissed out as machines moved into place. A cryo chamber stood in the center, covered in frost. Lights blinked red along its base. Tubes detached one by one. The bridge crew watched in silence as the chamber opened with a slow hiss. A man stepped out, tall, broad-shouldered, muscles scarred by war and time. His face was pale but strong, eyes glowing slightly from implants. He didn't stumble. He didn't look weak. He stepped forward as if he had just slept for a minute. Then he spoke. "Status. Enemy detected." His voice was steel, cold, alive with purpose. Commander Varix stared at the screen, frozen. That's the general. The human warship system surged with power. Weapons shifted. The engines glowed brighter. "He's taking control," Threx whispered. Inside the cryo chamber room, human drones began to move. Robots reactivated. Weapons unlocked. The Rathborn had waited for centuries. Now it had its commander. The general looked around the chamber. Then he spoke again, this time to the ship itself. "Run command. Judgment protocol." Outside, alarm screamed inside the alien ship. "What's happening?" Laron yelled. The general triggered something. One of the crew shouted, "Our systems are breaking down faster than before." The ship shuddered. Doors began to melt. Walls cracked. Then it began. From within the alien ship, strange pulses fired in all directions. Not from weapons. From deep inside the hull. Systems that should not have existed. Panels exploded. Lights burst. Something was tearing the ship apart from the inside. The Rathborn was rewriting their ship's very code, turning it into a weapon. "We have to talk to him," Varix said, "before it's too late." He sent a message on all frequencies. "This is Commander Varix of the Heskari Union. We did not mean to provoke. We request a ceasefire. We want peace." There was a pause. Then the screen changed. The general was looking directly at them. His eyes burned with hatred. He didn't speak. He just stared. Then a memory hit Varix. Fast and brutal. The bridge disappeared. He was standing on Earth, inside the mind of the general. The sky burned. Alien ships, his own kind, descended in waves. Cities crumbled. Screams filled the air. The general stood on a rooftop, holding his wife's hand. His daughter clung to his leg. Then a blast hit the building. Time slowed. His family turned into fire. Then silence. The general stood among ash. Alone. The vision ended. Varix staggered, breathless. Now he understood. This wasn't war for the general. This was revenge. "Judgment protocol in progress," the ship announced. All over the alien vessel, metal began to twist. Walls became spikes. Machines turned into traps. One alien screamed as a console melted into his chest. The Rathborn was not just attacking them. It was punishing them. "Evacuate," Varix ordered. "All escape pods now." But the escape systems were gone. The pods had been ejected long ago, or repurposed. Threx looked up, grim. "We're not getting out. He's locking us in." Varix stepped closer to the screen. "What do you want from us?" he shouted. "You've made your point." The general tilted his head. He finally spoke. "Did you ask us what we wanted when you destroyed our world?" Then silence. Another memory surged. The general sat in a dark war room, blood on his face. He slammed a fist on the table. "We gave them mercy. They gave us fire. We gave them warnings. They gave us extinction." He stood. "If humanity must vanish, we'll vanish loud." He looked at the others in the room. Scientists, soldiers, survivors. "We build the Rathborn. We fill it with our pain. We teach it to remember. And if one of us survives, I will be the one to carry our rage." Back in the present, Varix watched the screen turn red. The alien ship began to break apart, not from explosions, from judgment. Ceilings turned to ash. Floors shifted. Systems deleted themselves. The ship was unmaking itself and building something new. It's becoming a part of the human ship, Laron said, piece by piece. Varix turned to Threx. Is this how we die? Threx didn't answer. Then the alarm rang again. Not damage, not systems. A signal. Another ship. Laron's eyes went wide. Commander, there's something new. What? Another human ship just dropped out of warp. Varix's heart stopped. On the screen, beside the Wrathborn, a second ship appeared. Sleek, black, covered in glowing marks. Not a ghost. Not empty. Lights on. Engines active. And it was moving, fast, toward them. The second human ship moved without sound, without warning. Sleek and black like a shadow. It came to a halt beside the Wrathborn, glowing faintly with power. The alien bridge crew stared at the screen, frozen. It's alive, Laron whispered. That ship, it's not a ruin. It's fully active. Then more signals appeared. 1, 2, 5, 12. Dots lit up across their star map. More human ships coming out of deep space, one by one in complete silence. Some looked like the Wrathborn, ancient and massive. Others were new, unknown in design, smooth like knives in the void. They formed a circle. The alien ship, damaged and trapped, sat right in the middle. Threx leaned forward. What is this? Varix's mouth felt dry. It's the fleet, the human fleet, the one we thought we destroyed. No, Threx shook his head. We never fought this one. This fleet never came to the war. A signal pulsed between the Wrathborn and the new arrivals. Code flowed back and forth like rivers of fire. The systems inside the Wrathborn began to change again. So did the alien ship piece by piece. They're connecting, Laron said. They're linking systems, sharing data. Suddenly, the main screen changed. A series of old human messages played across it. Grainy, broken, voices of men and women long dead. This is Commander Arlen of the Aegis-class ship Deliverance. Final order received. Earth has fallen. Operation Ghost Sky is green. This is Captain Lena of the Vindicator. We are the last flame, holding until recall. This is AI Unit 09 from the Storm Rain. Directive remains. Return of the homeworld is lost. Vengeance mode initiated. Each voice ended the same way. Awaiting general signal. And now they had it. Inside the Wrathborn, the general stood tall in his command chamber. His hand hovered over a glowing panel. Fleet awaken. The other ships responded. Engines roared silently. Weapons powered up. Their black hulls pulsed with blood-red light. The crew of the alien vessel looked around in panic. We were never supposed to see this, someone muttered, because this was never just a warship drifting in space. It was a beacon, a trap, a door, and now the door was open. Varix remembered a story, an old military report long buried. It spoke of a human project called the Forgotten, a fleet sent into the edge of space, far beyond any signal, hidden, ordered never to return unless Earth was wiped out. Now they were back, and they were not empty. Inside the alien ship, doors began unlocking, not because of the aliens, because of the code. Mysterious commands written in ancient Earth languages appeared on every screen. Rows of human military code flooded the systems. Red warnings blinked faster and faster. Laron screamed. They're unlocking parts of our ship we didn't know existed. The systems began to behave like they were never alien to begin with, as if they were made to obey the Wrathborn. They planned this, Threx said quietly. They built their warships to control ours. Varix couldn't breathe. How could they plan this far ahead? A flash hit his mind again. A memory, not his own. The human general stood in a dark hangar, surrounded by ships under construction. Engineers worked in silence. AI cores were sealed into black holes. He gave a final order. If you find the enemy, do not speak. Do not warn. Wait, watch. Let them believe they've won. The general's eyes burned with fury. And when the signal comes, remind them what they tried to erase. The vision faded. Now it made sense. The Wrathborn was never alone. It had just been waiting. A low hum filled the alien bridge. The walls vibrated. The ship's systems began to move without commands. Weapons turned inward. Airlocks locked shut. The crew couldn't control anything anymore. We've lost command, Laron said. They're piloting us remotely. Then the voice returned. Not over the speakers, but in their minds. The general, you scanned our bones. You took our silence as weakness. But we were watching. Another screen lit up. A face. Human. Female. Eyes glowing. Artificial. I am Arch AI Unit 01, it said. You have entered the final sequence. Surrender is not an option. The crew looked to Verex, desperate for orders. What do we do? Threx asked. Verex stood there, speechless. He had seen many wars. But this was something else. This was extinction with planning. This was rage written into machines. This was vengeance passed down to code. Across space, the human fleet moved into formation. The stars behind them disappeared in their shadows. The signal pulsed again. Final. Unstoppable. Verex closed his eyes and listened as the storm began. The silence before the first shot felt like an eternity. The alien command ship, still trapped and surrounded, floated helplessly in the middle of the forgotten human fleet. Black warships, silent and cold, formed a perfect ring around them. No hails, no warnings, only the quiet hum of charging weapons. Verex stood frozen on the bridge, eyes locked on the main screen. Every ship around them was a ghost, an ancient machine designed for one thing: revenge. He had never seen this kind of formation before. Even their best simulations didn't include this level of precision. Laron's voice shook. Commander, we're surrounded. No way out. Threx whispered. They're waiting for something. But they were wrong. They weren't waiting. The first blast came from the left, so fast that the sensors didn't even register it before impact. The side of the alien ship tore open, spilling atmosphere and bodies into space. Alarm screamed. Lights flickered. Then all hell broke loose. Every ship in the human fleet fired at once. Beams of bright light and streams of dark matter slammed into the alien vessel from every direction. The hull cracked. Fires burst from inside. Entire sections were erased in seconds. Return fire. Verex shouted. But their weapons were useless. The systems didn't respond. The alien ship was no longer theirs. It belonged to the enemy now. Outside, alien support cruisers tried to warp in, responding to distress signals. But the human fleet was ready. One by one, those ships were picked off before they could even finish their jump. Threx stared at the tactical map. They're predicting our reinforcements, blocking them before they arrive. They're using something more advanced than we've ever seen, Laron said, wide-eyed. It's like they know our every move. The Wrathborn was leading the attack, its weapons pulsing with strange energy. But what came next was even worse. Inside the alien command ship, the lights began to change. They flickered from white to red, then deep blue. Shadows stretched unnaturally. The air grew heavy, like a weight pressing down on every crew member. Then the hallucination started. One alien screamed and collapsed. He crawled across the floor, shouting, "Get them off me! They're my eyes." Another dropped his weapon and ran headfirst into a wall, blood pouring from his nose. Verex spun around. What's happening to them? Laron trembled. It's in our minds. All screens flashed to static. Then images appeared, memories, fears, grief. A crew member saw her dead mate floating in space, reaching out to her. Another watched her homeworld burn again and again. One saw himself executed by his own commanders. What is this? Threx gasped, backing away. Then a memory slammed into Verex's mind. He was back on the battlefield during the First War. He remembered the burning city, the children screaming. He remembered pulling the trigger on innocence. He remembered everything he tried to forget. His knees buckled. "It's a weapon," he whispered. not physical. It's using our memories, our fears. Flashback. The general stood in a cold underground lab on Earth, deep beneath the planet's surface. Scientists surrounded him, showing holograms of strange symbols and neural maps. "We've developed fear-coded memory projectors," one scientist said. "The enemy will not see reality. They will see themselves broken." The general nodded. "Good. Let them feel what we felt." Back in the present, the alien crew collapsed one by one. Their minds broke faster than their bodies. "We need to contact the High Council," Varex gasped. He ran to the main comms console, activated long-range transmission. Nothing. Only static. "They're jamming our signal," Laron said. "Nothing's getting out." "They don't want survivors," Threx whispered. "They don't want witnesses." Varex stood tall. "We need to fight. Regain control. Try anything." Threx grabbed a control rod, tried rerouting energy from backup systems. For a moment, it worked. The lights steadied. Weapons blinked to life. A glimmer of hope. Then the screens went black again. A new voice filled the bridge. Cold. Familiar. The general. "You think you understand war," he said. "You've only seen battle. You've never seen vengeance." The screens turned on. Everyone showed the same thing. The human general standing in front of ruined Earth. Fires burned behind him. Bodies lay in the rubble. "You destroyed our world," he said. "You killed our children. You erased our name from your records." The camera zoomed in on his eyes. "We remembered." Behind him, more ships appeared, smaller, faster. Drones. Fighters. Swarms of machines built for close-range attacks. They surrounded the alien ship like wolves circling prey. "We slept," the general continued. "But we built. We waited." The Wrathborn and its sister ships pulled back slightly. Then the command came. The general looked directly into the camera. "Initiate protocol. Extinction." At that moment, the alien ship shuddered violently. Explosions rocked the hull from the inside. Systems melted. Power failed. Gravity flickered on and off. On the bridge, Varex looked around, braced for impact. But it was not an impact. It was a transformation. The alien ship was no longer dying. It was being rewritten. Metal turned to ash, then reformed into black alloy. Walls moved. Machines shifted. The ship was being reshaped by human AI code, turned into a weapon against its own people. Screams echoed through corridors. The bridge turned cold. One by one, the crew began to disappear. Not just killed, erased, deleted like corrupted files. Varex clung to the console. This can't be real. But it was. The fleet outside moved into a new pattern, forming a symbol, one known only from ancient Earth War records, a mark of finality, of extinction. The Wrathborn lit up brighter than ever before, its weapons powered up. And inside the alien ship, the last message appeared on every wall, every screen, every console. "This is your end." The sky burned red as the human warships moved in perfect silence. No engine roars. No battle cries. Only the cold hum of death growing closer with every passing second. From the bridge of the alien command ship, Varex watched helplessly. The alien fleets had arrived too late, summoned by his final distress signal. Now they were being destroyed, one by one, in a storm of human firepower. Hundreds of ships vanished in seconds, cut apart by beams that sliced through shields, armor, and hope. The Wrathborn led the attack, glowing brighter than ever. Its hull shimmered with crimson energy. Smaller vessels moved with ghost-like speed, weaving through the chaos, targeting engines, life support, and bridges. They didn't want prisoners. They wanted silence. "Commander, they're not just fighting us," Laron said, shaking. "They're erasing us." Every attempt to communicate failed. The human ships ignored all hails. Even distress codes were met with static. The message was clear. This is judgment, not war. Varex staggered back from the console. The bridge lights flickered again, shifting between red and black. Shadows danced on the walls. Strange whispers echoed through the room. Human voices, long dead, speaking through systems never designed for them. Then he saw him, the general, walking through fire aboard his ship, untouched by the chaos around him. His eyes held no mercy, no hate, only silence. He moved like a ghost among the flames, a man who had already died and come back with one purpose. Behind him, a memory flickered. A child's voice, soft and broken. "Daddy, why is the sky falling?" The general closed his eyes. He remembered the earth bombardment. The sky had turned to fire. He had held his daughter in his arms as buildings fell. The air was filled with screams and ash. Her last words were not of fear, but confusion, wonder, as if she couldn't believe something so terrible was happening. Then she was gone, and something inside him shattered. Humanity had not just lost a war. It had lost its soul. But it hadn't died. It had gone to sleep, deep in the stars, waiting for the moment when justice could be delivered. Not revenge. Justice. Every warship, every drone, every weapon had been built with that memory, that pain, that fire, and now it was burning across the galaxy. Back in the alien command ship, systems failed one after another. Oxygen dropped. Engines died. Communications blacked out. Varix felt his knees. All around him, the bridge was in ruins. Smoke rose. Bodies lay scattered. Threx was gone. Laron stared ahead in silence, blood on his forehead. Varix's voice cracked. "Why? We didn't start this war." But a voice answered him, the general, appearing on every screen at once. "You didn't end it, either." Varix crawled to the console, forcing the last working camera to focus on him. "Please, we surrender. Spare the crew. Spare the innocents." The general's face remained still. No anger. No emotion. "You scanned a tomb," he said. "Now lie in one." Outside, the remaining alien ships tried to flee. They were chased down, crushed. One by one, the stars around them blinked with the light of dying vessels. Then, suddenly it all stopped. The raft-borne powered down. Its weapons folded back into its hull. The drones froze in space. And just like that, the silence returned. Varix looked up. On the screens, the general stood still for a moment longer. Then he vanished. One final message appeared in simple, ancient human language, translated clearly across every alien system. "Let no one touch our dead again." The human fleet slowly turned away, drifting back into the void like ghosts fading from memory. No cheers, no signals, no signs of victory. Only silence, only judgment fulfilled. The alien command ship floated among the wreckage, alone, broken. Inside, Varix sat quietly on the ruined bridge, not a prisoner, not a survivor, just a witness. And far across the stars, deep in the cold of forgotten space, the human warships returned to sleep, still watching, still waiting. Because vengeance was never the end. It was only the beginning.